For my developmental psychology observational study, I wanted to research the differences in behavior among same and different gender dyads. Dyads meaning two children interacting. Specifically, I wanted to know whether children display more prosocial behavior with their peers of the same gender or their peers of the opposite gender. Looking at previous studies, I found many researchers, such as Molly, Scarum, and Whale, had found that children in early childhood, their study looking at children's ages 7 to 9, were more likely to experience prosocial behaviors with members of their same gender. Based on this research, I hypothesized that similar results of finding more prosocial behavior occurring between same-gender dyads would be seen in my study as well. I hypothesized this because I think children would pick up on this social dynamic from a young age if we also see it observed later on in their development. For my naturalistic observation, I used a running record method and a coding scheme for how I would identify prosocial behavior. The first part of my coding scheme included tallying every time the children and dyads displayed playfulness, operationalized as one child smiling or laughing in response to the other's behavior. I also coded helpfulness as a prosocial behavior, operationalized as one child giving either a toy or a piece of food to another child. Lastly, cooperation was considered a prosocial behavior, operationalized in the study as two children working cooperatively on a shared task or game without yelling, raising their voice at another kid without smiling or laughter involved. The children were observed in a toddler and preschool classroom, each for 30 minutes. The names and the ages of the children were given on a poster behind the one-way mirror where the observations took place. The children did not know we were observing them, and no other demographic information was recorded. The children were also observed playing in both indoor and outdoor settings of the classroom. An example of a prosocial interaction observed in the study was between a different gender dyad when one boy was playing tea time with a female peer in the toddler classroom. He proceeded to cut apart the wooden watermelon on the table held together by Velcro and give her a piece of it. This was tallied as helpfulness. The results of my study found that of the 14 recorded prosocial interactions, 79% were same-gender dyads and 21% were different gender dyads. My hypothesis was confirmed. One limitation of my study was that the two classrooms were only observed for a relatively short amount of time, and that longer observations may or may not have influenced my results. Part of the time I observed the toddler classroom was also spent with structured teaching time, where the teacher read aloud and the students did not interact much during this procedure. Another limitation of my observational study was that there were a small amount of children in both classrooms compared to how large both the indoor and outdoor play areas were. Having children interact in closer proximity may have increased the amount of interactions between both same and different gender dyads in my research. As for implications of my study, future researchers could investigate to see if the hypothesis that same-gender dyads will have more prosocial interactions than different gender dyads extends to settings outside of the classroom, such as in small groups on playdates. It is also important to see what the long-term effects of this pattern of more frequent prosocial behavior between same-gender dyads does to a person's development. This would help determine whether this is a structure that parents, daycare providers, clinicians, and more should encourage, discourage, or remain neutral towards.